Hey y'all, how's it going? It's Ash here. I recently got a comment on one of my montages that actually asked me to make a smoke sky because I guess they liked the smokes that I had in the video. So I actually thought it'd be a pretty fun idea just to kind of see what I could cook up. And I decided that I would start on Haven since this is a brand new map that just got put back into the rotation for this season. So I wanted to kind of give some new beginners coming into Season 9, Act 9. And wanted to pick up smokes and stuff like that, I decided to give them a smokes guide. So here it is. It's a bit long, but I hope there's something that you can enjoy in here. So let's get going. So in this video, I'm mostly going to be talking about Clove, Brimstone, Omen, and then a little bit of Viper as well. Those are most of the characters I play. I'll put on screen right now my tracker. You can see I played a bunch of hours of Clove last act. I have a bunch of hours on Omen as well as Viper, and I do play Brimstone as well, but I'm kind of more partial to the three: Omen, Clove, and Viper. Something I want to talk about first, like one of the first universal things that I learned that just really helps me in general is when you're placing smokes, especially at like choke points like this one or here, anywhere that you're trying to hold, you always want to place your smokes in the most advantageous way possible for you. So you kind of want to place your smokes in a way where your opponents have to peek out. They don't have time. They don't have space to hang out in a smoke right here and peek out however they want. And I'll show you an example of a bad smoke in just a second. So if you place your smokes like this instead, you can see the opponents have a chance to peek out from the left. They can peek out, from the right. Well, they can't because of the wall, but you kind of get the idea. They have a lot more chances to kind of come out of here. Whereas if you place your smoke like this, your opponent really has one way to come out. They have to either come out like this if they don't want their gun to be peeking through like this, or they've got to, check this side. Like, it's a lot harder, and it gives you a lot more like pressure on your opponents, especially low elo players. They're not going to respect your smokes either way, so you might as well put your smokes in the most advantageous way possible, where you can just fucking sit here and just. But with Clove, like I would say, so for your A site takes here, Haven's a unique map. It's got 3 sites, of course. But honestly, you can see how big Clove's smokes reach. So if you go to this corner here on A, you can see you can smoke really far. You can smoke all the way at C. You can smoke, you can smoke everywhere at B if you need to. You can smoke the front here if you need to. You can smoke the side. This is just for attacking too. I mean, on defense, you can just play B on defense. I'll show you in a minute. But you can just play B on defense. You can smoke either site pretty freaking easily. All you have to do is just run to link, and then you can smoke either site. Really helps your team out. Like, that's the biggest part about playing smokes in low elo, as it's really like hard. Like, your teammates are gonna do dumb stuff, especially if you're solo queuing. Like, you cannot control your teammates, but what you can do is you can place smokes down to help them, and like help them in their dumb ideas, because if an idea works, is it really that dumb? And like, sometimes these low elo players, they'll have smart ideas, they don't know how to execute them like on their own because they're not smart enough. Like, they have part of the plan, and they just need like an extra smoke here or two there. It's all about like reacting when you're playing smokes and stuff. But so for your A takes, like I would say, like your most common smokes are going to be the tower smoke and the spawn smoke. This tower smoke just cuts off anybody that's trying to play above, and high ground is really, really strong in this game because they can play farther back and make it harder to hit them. And then spawn is just a pretty easy point to just block off. That means it just isolates anybody who's playing on site from their teammates. And it really only leaves like hell to play in, and then once anybody peeks here, you'll know if there's a hell player. If you also have somebody pushing up sewers, you clear this area too. And then this smoke here also helps the sewer push because they can't watch from sewers. It doesn't block off that, but you just have somebody watching in case there's an Omen or a Jet or whoever, and then you just get a free plant here on the site. So for B site, I think it's actually one of the harder sites to smoke off. I think it becomes a lot easier, especially on this map, if you have a second smokes player on your team. Just somebody who can help you like smoke off all the angles, because there's so much. You smoke off C link, you smoke off A link. All you have to do now is check the back site, make sure nobody's playing here, and then you also of course have to check, make sure nobody's flanking you, stuff like that. But then yeah, you get a free site right here, you get a free plant right here, free plant right there, and then nobody can really challenge you. That's pretty strong for B. If you're playing slow, a pretty good smoke I like to throw down is this door smoke. Like, yes, I could probably put it in a little bit more, but even if I really throw this one down just for if I'm holding from window, because it really is awkward for them to have to push out anywhere from here. Because if they push out here, all you have to do is just flick. If they push out this side, then you just you know, you shoot them there. In window, I like to throw a smoke kind of like right here, so that if anybody wants to push out of window, they have to, you know, they kind of have to do the same thing as they would in a choke, where they don't really have a lot of opportunities to hide in a smoke, like on the steps here or something like that, because, you know, people are sneaky. These players are smart, even if they're in freaking like silver and bronze and stuff. Like they'll hide right here, and then they'll just destroy you, you know. So you got to be like aware of the weird angles that your opponents can play. And if you smoke right here, like that was not a good smoke because they can obviously see here. But you kind of get the idea. Like you want to smoke as close as you can to the sill, so it means that, you know, you can push through here. You can take this space and it's free, and then you're easily able to throw your other smoke and spawn here, and then your whole team is like free to just fight onto site, take this, you know, C site. So that's kind of more of like a mid to C smoke. But moving on to C, I kind of showed it in the beginning. But these two smokes, especially if you're playing from like long area coming up through here, these are really strong. It's all you need is to just take this tiny bit of sight, and then you can just plant right here. You know, you can plant in this corner. It's a pretty like easy plant for like a lot of lower elo. But if you can plant like here or here instead, it's a lot easier to just hold all the way from long and make the fights a lot harder. But something I didn't really talk about on Clove that I wanted to talk about on Omen is your other utility. Like, smokes players are not just about utility, and like you can see on the mini map there at the top left, like this is a huge freaking like it goes far, and it doesn't get affected by your speed anymore. Like you used to be able to speed it up and make it go farther by walking forward. Nah, that doesn't matter anymore. You can just throw it however you want through any wall or anything like that. So like part of playing Omen is, yes, throwing those smokes down for your team, like, you know, entering onto site, pretending my smokes aren't horrible, you know, entering onto site, you know. But it's also like sometimes it's about playing in the back here and letting your teammates push ahead and throwing this freaking flash through the wall for your team, so that everybody on the left side is freaking flashed, but you're still back there, and then your teammates can push out, they get the kills. A lot of playing smokes is just about being a team player. Yeah, honestly, Omen doesn't really have a lot of changes. Like, yeah, you'll want to just keep smoking these same areas on attack and defense. Like here on defense, you're always going to kind of want to, this is a really good smoke just keeping the enemies out of line. Like, yeah, they can tuck into cubby, but cubby doesn't, you can't plant the site in cubby, like, or spike in cubby. You know, you gotta come out to the site. Like, that's a great spot for just doing it. And yeah, maybe your teammate wants to push up into cubby, and you can throw this smoke down, you know. It's pretty much you just like want to be smoking off choke points everywhere. This is with all characters, but this is a good smoke for defense, for window, you know. Just pretty much denies all angles from window. You can't really peek out of that at all. It's really strong for this map. Plus, Omen is one of the few characters that can TP here. You can play from up here. You know, people are gonna expect this though. This is pretty. I mean, pretty well known. Jet can get up here. Raze can get up here. Like, it's not that crazy that a character could be up here. So, you know, players are gonna expect that now. Another angle I like though is this one. It's pretty much the same one, but it's a little farther back. People, I don't think, expect it nearly as much, but they'll still be looking up. If you go up here a lot, I wouldn't use this one as much because, you know, people are going to already expect you to be up. But, you know, for a couple rounds, this will be a good off angle. And then, like, if you're playing defense on A, of course, like, these are just pretty much just really smart smokes. You lock off just all positioning here. Like, yes, they can kind of tuck in. You just have to be aware. But you can play kind of like right here close to the wall. This is not the best smoke. I would maybe want this smoke a little closer to this. But you can kind of play like right here. You can hold both lanes at the same time from right here. You can even play a little out. Like, a lot of players, especially if you play here a lot, they're going to expect you to be in this deep corner. They might come out pre-firing and just want to kill you right here. Play a little bit over here, you know. Play a little outside of the corner. Or play a little farther up so they're not expecting you to be here, and then you can boom, hit here, and then you can reposition and kill somebody there. Like, it's just all about your positioning and where you want to be, what angles you want to take, and then where your smokes are, what they cut off, what sight lines. What agents are you frustrating the most by cutting off the sight lines? Who is the least effective? You know. So yeah, and then, you know, Omen is all about like the util, like throwing this down this way to, you know, flash people that are about to push out. You know, you just want to use your util as effectively as you can with Omen. The biggest difference between like Brimstone and then Clove and Omen and characters like that is that Brimstone does not recharge his smokes. Yes, he does get 3 of them, but, you know, and I have infinite abilities on right now, so of course they're not gonna go away. But he only has 3 smokes. They do not recharge at the end of the round or during the round or anything like that. So you want to make sure that you're using your smokes a lot more smartly with Brimstone. Like, yes, you want to be smoking off like this here or this here, But like I think even more, you also want to be making sure you have smokes, like a smoke, extra smoke maybe for post, like put a smoke here, especially if you're playing solo controller. It's a lot easier for your enemies to retake if you don't have any utility left at the end of the round. Like, you know, save 1 or 2 for the post. Save 1 or 2 for a dire situation, you know. End of the round, throw one here, you know. Bomb's getting planted, the other 2 smokes run out, you know, you just got bombed down, throw one there. Slow down that push there for a bit. You can even throw your molly here too, instead of saving it for post, if you have your ult, and you could just sit in this corner here, and you could just like, oop, there's an ult, right there. Throw it right on the bomb, and then, you know, swing out. It's less effective, like smokes are less effective, the less effective your team is, and the less effective of control that you have over the site and the spike and your surroundings, right? So like, yes, you can't control your teammates, but you'll notice that like the better that your positioning is, and the better you can even lead your teammates in comms. If you don't use comms, that's fine too. But just like, you know, try and lead your team through example of like, hey, I've got this smoked off. Like, be confident, play this site angle with me, hold it with me instead of just like running away. For B site, I really enjoy like throwing down just these 2 smokes to just start with, like especially if you have teammates who are also smokes player, like playing smokes, they can cover garage, and they can cover, you know, they can cover window, they can cover garage. Your teammates, they can cover the behind you if they need to. You know, I want you to focus as a Brim player. You smokes, I'm throwing these smokes here, right? You get your plant down, and then whatever side that they like to push from, that's where you throw your last smoke down at. Like, hey, they're pushing, a lot of them pushing from A-Link, throw an A-Link smoke down. You can hold B a lot easier. Your teammates can kill that guy, kill these 2 players, whoever it is. Then they could just focus on the other 2 or 3 coming from this side, you know? And then, so that's for attacking. And, you know, defending is kind of the same thing. Like, this is a really good smoke for, you know, window right here. Same deal. You kind of don't want to give them the chance to really be able to walk out and, like, hide on these little nooks and crannies, because they will. They're sneaky bastards. And then I will say for Brimstone, another good thing about Brimstone is that his C ability, the Stim Beacon, is really strong for just like hard pushing. If your team's struggling and you just want to call a push, throw that shit down, like for real. Like, your team's right here, they cannot peek this faster than you can do this and just do this, right? Your team can just be past this choke point in like half a second, you know? Like, they're here, suddenly, boom, they're fighting these guys here with high fire rate. 5 people with high fire rate vandals, like, just bursting through this choke. It'll catch anyone here off guard. Like, hey, and hey, say the enemy team is playing smart and they're not playing right here. They're going to play up here instead, or they're going to play on site. That's where you're going to be here with the team. Like, okay, we know they're not playing here, so save your Stim Beacon, throw it here. Boom, you just burst out, fight here, fight here. You know, your team can just fight this, and you see how long the stim lasts? Like, all the way to pretty much back site. So you can really just like force your team onto site with that. Use your util as Brim for your teammates. Do not use this crap for yourself, for real. Alrighty, and the last character we're going to talk about a little bit is Viper. I honestly don't really play a lot of Viper on this map. I really prefer the other agents, but I do play a lot of Viper. She was one of my mains for a while, especially during the Breeze like kind of meta, and I really miss I really miss Pearl, because she's so good on that map too. But you could do a couple nifty walls, like here from C, you can kind of cut off the C entrance, you can cut off garage, and then it also helps to cut off the entrance to B site as well. So that's not really a bad wall. Orb here, which covers, you know, just one spot, and now you can't even pick up her orb anymore, so you can't really run back. Like, it's just really hard to play solo smokes with Viper, especially on this map. Like, it's a little easier on maps like Bind. Haven, though, I really wouldn't recommend it. If you have another teammate or you're a diehard Viper fan, like, of course play her. Like, she's a really fun character. I hate the change that you can't pick this up anymore, though I do agree that she was very powerful, and it probably added to it that she could pick that up. But it really, like, that really hinders her a lot, and I don't think she's going to see a lot more play anymore. You'll find better walls, but that's one I really like. You can kind of do the same thing here, but it's kind of less effective. I like, yeah, I'll throw this wall down just to show. Yeah, it covers this entrance, and it covers this entrance, which I do like. But it also cuts off this pocket and this pocket, which it kind of depends on how your teammate or enemies are playing. But if you're kind of trying to push up here and they push past you in here, just so easy for them to get right behind you and to sneak right behind you. Same with like being in this pocket, you know. And if you throw it bad, like I did, you can peek right there. So I just don't love this wall. But it does do the same job like it does if you're just playing on site. It's a good wall for that. Like if you're playing into that little area of sewer, then maybe it's not the best, but you know, if you're playing on site, it's fine. And then it also does still cut off B, so that kind of does its job here. But still, like, it's not it's not easy, like, to be able to get around with Viper pre-round and throw all of her stuff down. You have to be a lot stronger at playing reactively, and especially now that her orb, you can't pick it up anymore. Like, you can before the round, but not now that you can't pick it up. It might not even be worth it to throw that smoke down anymore until you see the enemies pushing into you. I not even need to throw this down anymore. So it kind of just like hinders her a lot, in my opinion. It kind of makes her hard to solo smoke. She was already hard to play solo smokes with before, but yeah, that's hard. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much just like a little smokes guide for Haven. Now that it's back in the map pool, I plan on doing this with a bunch of other maps. Probably not talking so much as this first one. I kind of just want to give an intro. This is kind of like the Haven section and a little intro to like throwing smokes down. Probably in the next episodes, I'll just be showing off a couple cool smokes and a couple lineups that I really like for each character. Yeah, so look forward to those. If you really like Astra or Harbor, like, I'm sorry, I don't really play those characters. Astra's really hard. If you really like her or you're good at her, like, please, kudos to you. Really cool character. But for me, I just cannot. My brain isn't big enough. I'm sorry, I'm not too smart. But yeah, for all you big brain smokes players out there that really love Astra and Harbor, characters I'm too dumb to play, I got some really good guides I'll put in the description. But yeah, thanks again to Arya H for commenting on my montage and asking me for a smokes guide. I don't know why, but if this will help you, I'm happy to do it for you. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.